that time and be redundant here. Thomas Malone, Memphis Firefighters, 5150 Stage, Suite 103. I rise in support of this ordinance based strictly on fair and equitable rights that have been promised to employees over these years. We've talked and talked about what's fair, what's right. I heard the Reverend speak this morning, and he said, Lord, help us to do what's right, no matter what the cost. When a preacher is praying to do what's right and taking out the cost, we know with common sense that you all can't take out the cost. We understand that the cost. But we find no municipality in the country. And as you've all seen throughout the country, there's been numerous pension changes that have been adjusted. And we've seen not one municipality that has affected current employees. And I'll submit to you, and there'll be a speaker speaking. I don't want to steal his thunder after me, but I'll submit to you that the same thing is true in Detroit, coming out of bankruptcy. Everybody says that this doesn't work. The bottom line is we're trying to find dollars. We all understand we're trying to find dollars from the low-hanging fruit on the tree. This is not about the pension. We know beyond any shadow of doubt from fire that we had orientation. We're going to be hiring, and this council has approved a hiring class in April and another one in October, hopefully 100 per class. We normally have per orientation somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 people show up downtown at the convention center to learn about working for the Memphis Fire Department and what's going on in this city. This past orientation depends on who you talk to, so I'll take the high number. The city says they had about 700. Our people that were there on the ground, we think it's more like 500. Now that leaves this city, due to the problems that it's facing and due to the taking from the employees, that leaves this city trying to fill 2 classes of 100 personnel out of approximately 450 people. Most of you that's been around here a while know that that's an improbability. We'll put 100 people in that class, and if we get out with 70, we've done a hell of a job in the training division. We're now approximately 150 people short, using round figures, in the Memphis Fire Service. You submit a budget to these directors that you stood up here and applauded today on what a good job that they did, and you hold them down for the overtime. So we talk about browning out trucks, we talk about this, and this. And in reality, we still are paying in the city of Memphis the lowest contribution in a pension plan of anybody in the country. In 2011, our people working with the city administration were asked to sustain the pension plan by increasing their contribution. This is right on the heels of a 4.6 pay reduction. And the unions came together, worked with the city and the council, and we were successful in convincing our employees to pony up another 1.5% over 3 years. That was supposed to generate $450 million over 30 years, amortized over 30 years, and solidified a pension for these employees that had just taken a 4.6% hit, and now they're taking another 1.5% for 3 years, which is about $750 a year for the average employee. Now, I say all this that you all know. I don't have the answer, but I know that doing what's right takes a little bit of guts sometimes. And you have to ignore the big business that's coming up here saying, at all costs, we got to find some money. Doesn't make any difference where we find it. We're in trouble because of our long-term debt. We got to do something about it. So we blame it on the insurance. We're in court. We blame it on the pension. Councilman Conrad made a presentation at the committee one day upstairs, and it said that between our long-term debt, our insurance, and our pension is 45% of the general fund. We accepted that number. not knowing any difference. So we got busy and looked, and out of that 45%, 33% of that goes to our long-term debt. That means that's 12% that pays for the insurance and the pension of the employees of this city. They bust their hump every day. And I know we've got arguments on all sides. I'm not telling anybody what they need to do, but I want to read you something. In 2011, when all this started occurring, and we were all up here, and everybody applauded the employees, what a great job, and everybody talked about it and said, hey, this is good that these employees want to cooperate with us. We're in bad shape, and they're stepping up to the plate. In 2011, Mayor Wharton wrote, he emphasized that any decision on city pay scales and benefits would only apply to new employees, and it would require city council approval. That's where we are today. As most of you know, we got employees leaving every day. We've had, on the Memphis Fire Department, we've had 53 employees leave since January. Walk out the door. Guess where they're going? Collierville, Bartlett, Arlington, South Haven. There was one that really helped me out, Tomac. Batesville, Mississippi. That was really a charge for us when we lost an employee that felt that they had better benefits and more job security in Batesville, Mississippi, when we used to be the vacuum cleaner here in Memphis, sucking all these people into Memphis. And we talk about, well, we're not having people move here. We brought them into Memphis through the fire service, through public safety. They bought homes. They bought cars. They spent money. And now they're going the other direction. And I heard someone say to me, Malone, why do we care if people leaving? That creates jobs. We get to hire more new people. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that every time we walk one out the door and we have to train one that's a paramedic, that's about $300,000 of our taxpayer money. There's not a non-taxpayer sitting up here and not one standing at this podium. So I'm appalled that we think that it's such a good thing that we can let our people train, become, as the mayor talked about, we won the EMS award for the whole country. We had the #1 EMS division in the whole United States of America. Bar none. Now everybody says, well, probably Chicago and all those people, they weren't involved. Yes. This was done by the insurance departments. They decided who was the best. Now guess what? That's a good thing. But now we also know through our research that on the first quarter of the year, these cities that came in recruiting our employees from Austin, from Aurora, Colorado, from Dallas, from Nashville, and obviously from Mississippi, that they're going to be hiring the first quarter of the year. So I urge this body to support this this ordinance. Let's put this thing to bed, because we're trying to hire fire and police for next year and start fire and police classes in public safety. I dare say I think it's going to be an extra chore for our people to put together something that is so uncertain for someone to hire into. This is a good move if this body would do it. New hires, there's not one group in the country, not one, that we can find, and you can check with the administration. This is not a union thing. They know it's factual. Every single administration has gone to new hires when they made pension changes. In 1978, we made pension changes from the 48 plan. Not one current employee was impacted. We know that's the right thing. We've done it in this city. We should continue. I urge you to support this ordinance. It's the right thing to do. And remember this, we say that we don't want to end up like Detroit. They didn't affect none of their current employees. Thank you.